students, welcome to American History 2020. I am going to be your professor of this course. My name is Forrest Lajeunesse, and today what I want to do is go over what we're going to be covering in this course and an overview of a lot of the assignments that you're going to be working with and how to navigate through this course, okay? This way you'll have a good understanding of what I am looking for and what is expected of you so that you can be successful throughout this course. So first things first, let's just give you a quick breakdown of what you're going to look like when you actually access the course itself, okay? So first and foremost, as you will find when you come into your Canvas assignment, you will find that I have a couple different sections in here. At the very beginning here, you're going to find your course content. Underneath your course content is going to have your syllabus. I highly recommend looking over the syllabus. I'm going to go over it here with you too, but if you have any questions about assignments, when they'll be due, where they'll be located at, it's going to be found in the syllabus, okay? Also, any reading that's going to need to be done, where to access those materials will also be in the syllabus, but I'm also going to show you those here too, okay? The other thing that is found underneath this section is all the assignment instructions and all the rubrics. So this course is really broken down into two sections, okay, when it comes to assignments. You will have weekly tests. Those will be based upon any textbook readings, any additional readings that I assign. Make sure you are reading those additional readings as they are tested. They are not just there because I wanted to put them there, they are actually tested. So make sure you read those additional readings before taking any of the quizzes, okay? The second part, aside from the quizzes, and there'll be, of course, final, of course. That's just a really big quiz of things that you're going to learn from this course. The second part is that we are going to do a research project. We'll cover that here in just a moment, what I'm looking for in that. But you'll notice that the research project itself is broken down into a couple different components. You first off are going to have an overview. You're going to do a initial research bibliography, and then a revision to your initial proposal that you're going to give me. You're going to have a research journal and findings that you're going to do. You're going to do a video journal on it, and then you're going to do an annotated bibliography, and then you are going to submit initial draft of that before you actually submit the final one, so that I can have time to look over it, review it, and give you some feedback on it before you submit your final assignment, okay? And then, of course, itself, you're going to have the final project that you're going to turn in. So there are multiple sections to the final project. You have to make sure you're meeting those, and there are going to be deadlines with each one of those, so make sure when you look through the rubric that you notice that there are set hard deadlines that are not going to be extended. They end when they end. I don't reopen those assignments because you have to be methodical in your approach with this research project. And since the research project is about 45% of your grade, you need to make sure that you are on all of those assignments and that you are hitting those benchmarks, those deadlines as needed, not missing them, okay? That way you ensure that you are making progress in your research and progress in this final project and that you are successful in it, okay? So make sure you are paying attention to those deadlines. Now, when it comes to the quizzes themselves, I put everything with the quizzes till the very end of the late work deadline, but they lose 2% per day when they are late. Same with any assignments, they lose 2% of their amount of your total per day anytime that they are late, okay? But you only have an additional week from the point that they are due to turn them in. So you lose about 14% if you turn it in late, but if you don't turn it in at all, it's just a zero. So make sure you are turning in those assignments. All right, so let's kind of go over what we look at every week, okay, when it comes down to maybe an assignment. So I'm going to, oh wait, before I do that, let me show you where your textbook is. You do not need to buy a textbook for my course. I know that some of the American history courses require purchasing the school's version of the textbook. I use a free online version. That is going to be found right here underneath course textbook. It says US History Textbook.pdf. I highly recommend downloading the textbook. Don't just pull it up when you need it, download it. You can search it, you can look through it. It's easier to have up while you're taking a test. So make sure you are downloading the actual textbook, that you have a copy of it, okay? But it is here, it's included, it's free, it's right here. Take it, have fun with it. I do it free because I know you're college students and I know how much books cost, and I don't want you to pay out through the nose for a textbook. So I have found a free option. In our World War II unit, there is an additional textbook that is going to be found in the World War II section. I recommend, again, download it. It's about 70 pages. My course does have a lot of reading. You're just going to learn that right off the bat. I do make you read in the history class, okay? Just be expected of that. But your textbook is here. If you need it, it's right here. Do not use the textbook that may be required for other professors teaching the same course. That textbook does not work. We use the free one right here, okay? All right, so we're going to skip week 1. I'm going to show you week 2 because this is a more accurate description of what you would be looking at in my class, okay? So, for example, in week 2, we are going to study chapter 17 and 18, which is the American West and the industrialization of America. Okay, in there, you're going to read chapter 17 and 18 in the textbook, and then I have 3 additional articles that you are going to read that will be included in the test. Once you are done reading the textbook chapters, reading the articles, you then would take the quiz, and then on top of that, you will have your first part of the research assignment, which is the research proposal and the working thesis. Okay, so you are going to finish that part of the assignment out, and this would be like a standard week's worth. Most weeks, you're either going to have just a test for reading, or you're going to have a reading test plus the additional assignment that we'll be doing, okay? All right, so now we've kind of broke down where things are at, where you find stuff, how you can find grading rubrics. Those are going to be in the assignment instructions so that you know what I'm looking for when I'm grading things, okay? Let's talk about the actual research project, okay? Because that's what I get a lot of questions about. I have changed it up this term comparative to what I've done in the past. And there's a reason for this. It's because I want to foster your ability to grow as a student in different ways. Traditionally, what I have done is I assign a research paper. Typically, it's between 10 to 15 pages in length on a unique historical topic. However, I have found that not all students like writing research papers, and it doesn't fit everybody's best way of demonstrating or showing knowledge. So this time I have decided to do what I call a research project. So let me show you what that is. So I'm going to bring it over here to this page. Okay, so here is the research project. All right, so you are going to complete a research project focusing on a person, event, or movement in the 19th, 20th, or 21st century. Now, when I say 19th century, we are only going to start at 1877. We don't do anything prior to that, okay? So let me make that very clear right at the beginning. It's 1877 is where we are starting on this one. All right. Now, you are going to independently choose your topic. I'm not going to assign you one. This is, again, based on you finding something that you're interested in and you picking up that topic and moving forward with it, okay? This does require some research on your end and find something you're interested in itself, okay? One thing that I do note, and you're going to find it also in the assignment instructions, and I do not want you doing on a topic that is highly researched and well covered within U.S. history. So, please don't be doing papers on Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, on John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, World War II. You can do things in that subset of history, but I do not want a history paper on one of those individuals. If so, you will get an automatic C if you cover a highly covered topic. If you're worried that the topic that you're going to pick is highly covered, here's the first thing I say. Do an internet search on it. If there's a ton of things on the internet, it's highly covered, okay? Find a new topic. Now, at the same time, you may have a very unique approach to maybe a particular topic. If so, then that would work, but it has to be a very unique, atypical historical approach to a topic in general, okay? I do not want to read a bunch of papers on things that are well covered, have been thoroughly historically studied. We are here to learn, we're here to grow. We're here to move past just regurgitating information, okay? That is critical here. So let's go over a few options that you do have for this paper, okay? Again, I'm making this a little bit more open this term because I really want to see some students demonstrate creativity and maybe use skills that they have that may better suit them doing a project aside from just doing, per se, a research paper. Not everybody excels in research papers. I understand that, okay? That's why I'm moving towards this direction to kind of give you a little bit more freedom in this assignment. All right, so as I stated, here's your time frames. Make sure you pay attention to those time frames. Remember, I also said unique or less commonly researched topic, okay? I really want you to avoid at all costs doing anything that's just a bibliographical information. Don't want those at all, okay? You can't cover a person's life in the short amount of time that I have, okay? I try to explain that to students all the time, that I have biographies of historical people that are 1,000+ pages long. You can't give me enough information about that person in 6 to 10 pages. You just can't. All right, so if you decide in this course to do the research paper, I'm fine with the research paper. I love research papers. That's why I teach history. That's why I like writing history. I like showing you guys how to do it. If you are going to do a research paper, it's going to be 6 to 10 pages long, okay? You're going to develop a strong thesis. You're going to have a good conclusion. You're going to use Chicago-style citations. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Professor Lajeunesse, I don't know Chicago-style, because unless you have written history before, you probably never use Chicago-style. That's okay. We have a whole section in this course on how to do Chicago-style citations. If you're lost at any point, you let me know, and I'll help you fix it along the way, okay? You will then just pick your topic, develop a thesis, do research using primary and secondary sources, and then write a paper for me. That's the most simple, straightforward route that you can go in this class in order to finish this project. Just write me a paper, okay? I've shortened it to 6 to 10 pages. I found that students have been struggling to meet the higher page requirement, so I have found that 6 to 10 pages fits perfectly within what most students can produce within a course time frame week, okay? You can do a video project. When you are looking at this course, you will find that I have a YouTube channel. That's what you're watching this on. And on my YouTube channel, I do have a couple different types of video projects that I have done in the past throughout my educational career. This would be something usually a lot like a documentary, okay? So you do your research, you create kind of a documentary, and you produce this video and put a documentary video for me, okay? You should have pictures, videos, graphics, things like that. It should be engaging, it should be well produced, it should have music, it should have titles. Most basic editing programs now have access to all of those tools, okay? So make sure that if you're going to go that route, that you produce a high quality video project, okay? Again, you have to, it's a history project, it's on whatever topic you pick. Make sure that you know what you want to do it on. Make sure you do adequate historical research, just as if you were writing a paper, okay? More than likely, I'll probably want to see a script too, so understand that I might be asking to see the script as we go through it, okay? All right, now, here's where things get a little bit more interesting. I have opened up to the option of you doing alternative projects, okay? So the first one may be you want to do like a podcast type presentation. So maybe you and one other person talking about an issue, or you have to create it in a way that a traditional podcast would be done, okay? It could just be an audio one, it could be a video podcast, however you want to do it, but again, it's going to meet those same kind of stringent requirements of having sourcing, making sure you're citing things and that it's historically accurate, okay? That's going to be big. You can do an art project. Maybe you want to create some sort of artwork based on a historical event, or you want to make a painting. I know there are some of you that are artsy out there. I am definitely not. I paint, but not well. You can see the paintings behind me above my head. I painted all those, but they are definitely not amazing work, okay? But I do appreciate art. However, if you're going to do an art project, it's going to have to be substantial. It can't just be like I'm painting a portrait and a little tiny portrait that takes you 3 hours, and then you're like, this is my project. It has to be something substantial, something that demonstrates a commitment of time that would equate to what you would be doing on a research paper. Okay, so if you want to make a painting, go for it, and use that and submit it. That would be great. That would be cool. I would be all for it. Just again, it would have to show that there is a time commitment, and you have to use some sort of historical reference point that you're doing. So maybe you're making a painting of men going off to war, or a historic moment in civil rights movements, or workers' rights, or riots, or a historic speech, anything along those lines. Okay. If you're going to do that, though, you need to reach out to me first and kind of tell me what your ideas are for it before you do it. That way I can make a rubric, and that we can then fall within that guidelines to see if it'll meet the standards that we're looking for, okay? So again, I am interested in seeing if you're willing to do it, but again, I'm not going to 100% say, yeah, let's just do that across the board, because I don't need like 10 tiny little portraits of people, and then people are like, that's my research project. No, this is going to have to be something that is substantial in nature to reach the level of being a project, okay? All right. You can also do a historical fiction narrative. Maybe you are an English major and you like to write, but you like to write not history per se, like a history research paper. You want to write something that's historical fiction. If you do that, it's going to have to be 10 to 20 pages, so it's going to be a little bit longer than what the research paper would be. And on top of that, you're going to have to use historical research. So you're going to have to demonstrate to me that I did historical research. This is how I made sure that this was historically accurate in nature. These are the resources that I use. You're going to have to submit that information along with it, okay? If you have any other ideas or possible project ideas that you might want to run with that I don't express here, you email me and I will discuss it with you. We'll see if we can make it work, okay? All right, so that's the big thing here when it comes to this project. Make sure that you follow the guidelines, that you're reaching out to me if you need to. I've had some email issues last quarter. I worked with IT. I should not have any more problems with them, okay? But if you ever find that there's a delay with me responding, I may have responded. I've just had an email problem. I am ensuring, though, that I'm doing quick follow-ups with students so I don't hear back from them quickly due to the email problems, okay? But I hopefully have had them all resolved at this point, because it had been a big problem last term where I just wasn't getting any emails, and then when I was replying to emails, they weren't going to students. But I worked with IT diligently, and it should all be resolved now. And I've moved away from my native email program on my computer. I'm just using the web-based one now too. So hopefully that has fixed everything. But project, make sure you keep up with it and that you are timely with it. Do not fall behind on the project, okay? Just to kind of go over the rest of it, let me pull up the syllabus here really quickly. We're going to look at this just real fast so that you know what we're looking at. Again, this is going to be specific to your class. I'm teaching 4 classes this term, so you may notice that when I'm doing some of these videos, it may have a different CRN number on the top. It's because I'm teaching 4 classes. So again, I'm also dealing with 120 students. Email me really if you have an issue, okay? If you're just emailing me to say hi, it may take me longer to get back to you because just the sheer number of students. So again, here's your free textbook. If you want to buy a physical version, you can on Amazon. That's the code you type in right there, the one that I highlighted, okay? I've shown you the additional readings that you will have. Here are your assignments and their time frames of when they will be due. As you can see, there are a couple different assignments here as we work through it. Here's all the scoring and points that you will have ultimately for this course, okay? Hopefully this will make sure that it's easy to read and that you'll understand. Make sure that you are engaged with the material. If I see that you're not engaged and you're a no-show student, I'll have to report you as a no-show student. Here's another thing, just don't give up on the course. A lot of students do. They just stop doing work and then they fail the class. Don't just fail the class. Try to do your best work. Try to make an effort. Try to turn things in. Make sure that you are working hard and diligently. I am definitely by far not as I would always say, I'm not the easiest grading professor, but I am a fair grading professor. I will always give you a fair grade on any work that you do for me. Okay, so just make sure you get your work in, turn it in. Don't come to me 2 weeks left of the term, past the late work deadline, and be like, I didn't get anything done. Can I turn it all in? I'm not going to let you turn it all in at the very end, and because you haven't done anything all term. Okay, you need to get it done throughout the course of the term. Just don't fall behind. If you find yourself falling behind, just take a week and just get through everything. If you're way behind, you get the spring break, you just got to hunker down to that spring break, not go out and just get it all done before that. But I don't give past the deadlines. And all my deadlines, you may want to remember this, if you haven't noticed yet, are Saturdays, not Sundays. My week starts on Sunday, and your week starts on Sunday. All assignments are due on Saturday nights. Okay, so don't think I got all weekend to do this. You have Saturday to do it. Okay, so make sure that you are on top of that and you are paying attention to when assignments are due and those due dates. Okay, I don't want you to fall behind on it. But all in all, this is really what we're going to be working on throughout this course. We're just going to discuss U.S. history. I have some lectures that I'll put out there, but I do not test on the lectures. I used to test on the lectures, and students were iffy at watching the lectures, but the lectures are there for additional information and additional insights. But everything that I do is I'm going to I think my screen stopped recording, but if my screen has stopped recording and my audio is still going, just understand that I expect for you guys just to keep on working through the processes. Just don't give up on the work, okay? So I will continue to see you throughout this course, and I hope that we have a great semester together. And again, reach out to me if you